Good day, everybody. Welcome to episode 9 of Inside SWTOR, the show where gamers gab about all that's new, hot, and whatever in the universe of Star Wars The Old Republic. I am Sandy Sundarmisha Smith, and I am going to turn it over to my fellow panelists to say hello.
So considering my name is so hard to spell and pronounce on multiple different websites, I think I'm just going to start going with something a little easier like Balaclava Disestablishmentarianism Rodriguez. But that's pending litigation right now, so you can find me all over the place. Moving on.
Hello everyone, I am also Fraser, also known as Passcard FC, and for this week you can click me for a quest. Moving
Oh,
on.
baby.
Nice. So the obvious first topic of the week is server transfers. Our server was up for transfer, the Juyo server. We moved to Canderous Ordo. Pillars of Agila is now on the Canderous Ordo server instead of Juyo. And so the first thing is, what did y'all think about your experience with server transfers?
I had 7 go over just fine, and 1 that took me 3 hours to do because I had to do the workaround with starting a new character and then making it all the way up to logging out and deleting the damn thing and then transferring it over, and it went just fine. It went rather smooth for the other 7. You know, I had to rename like 4 or 5 of them. Lost my legacy, but that's okay. I got a new one in the works that I'm going to like a little bit better once it ties in with the whole... I'm going to have to buy a crown. It's the only hint you're getting.
My server transfer went reasonably well. The only thing was the rush when I got the announcement. Like I was sleeping late, and I woke up and said, "Oh no, we got the transfer! So do it all now!" And yeah, there was a bit of a panic on my side, and I had to check all my characters for emails and stuff like that to make sure I didn't have anything pending in their credit or item-wise, and that took me a while. But other than that, the actual transfer, it was really quick. I was worried it was going to take like an hour or more. So, yeah, it was okay. And I already knew about the workaround, so I did that beforehand.
I didn't get to transfer until later in the day. I'd gotten the text, I don't know, it was early-ish sometime. And so I had to end up renaming, I think it was 5 of my characters, which is really unusual because I tend to have just, you know, names that I make up. It's not like I grab common names or anything. But I had to rename 5 of them. And I was a little interested at the process. Going through and moving one at a time and one at a time and one at a time. And I may have done that in other server transfers. I don't even remember. I've only done one before, and it was a long time ago. But I was surprised at how quickly, once I put the characters into queue, how quickly it actually was transferred. I mean, it was like, you know, it said it could take up to an hour, and I clicked on my transfer history, and I was like, oh, done. So that was pretty cool. The going through and, you know, checking the mail and all that wasn't too bad. The thing that I found to be the most tedious about it is that since we had to, and I'm glad they did this so that we could move our guild bank, but since we had to disband the guild in order to have our guild bank moved to the new server, we didn't have a message of the day up for people who, you know, may be inactive right now or anything like that. So I went through and I sent an in-game mail to everybody who, you know, still had a character in the guild. And that's one of those times when the feature has been brought up at some of the Frag World Town Hall meetings. It would be really nice for guild leaders to be able to just mass email everybody in the guild. It would have really been nice to have that for the server transfer, especially because it starts off with a minimum of a minute between each mail you can send, and then the timer increases by about 5 seconds each time. So, which is great because it keeps gold farmers from, you know, mass emailing everybody. But as a guild leader, it would have been really nice. So, anyway, that's my rant about the server transfers. How do y'all think it's going to infect? I'm thinking the world event, I guess. How do y'all think it is going to affect the game? the future of the game and all that.
The game itself or the server? For the game itself, I think it'll be a big improvement. Not for the people who are left behind until they decide to shut down this service or whatever they're going to decide to do with the service left behind. Other than that, it should be fine.
Well, I think you'll see a lot of new friendships forming, and I think you'll see a lot of possibly see quite a few different guilds forming. People that weren't quite convinced that they should leave theirs, on a small server, or origin server, or destination server, and all of a sudden you got this influx of new people. It's almost like the game is new again because you got all these different personalities and all the names and everything you're used to, and now there's just tons more people, and it's nice to be able to log on and see full, very heavy, full, very heavy versus light, two standards and a heavy, where it was last week. I think it'll do good. I think it's a good move, and I think they did it right. I think they're still testing it over the weekend, but I think it's good.
Yeah, I haven't been on a lot, but the population is definitely higher on Canderous Ordo than it was on Juya, which is nice. And I know we've had since we transferred, I just the influx of new applicants has been. I mean, it's like I look at one and another one pops up. I look at one and another one pops up. So I think it's definitely going to rejuvenate the community. As far as like the long-term implications as the game, because the talk previously had been is the server population is too low, people are losing interest in the game. So now we're driving population toward these higher population servers, and I think I definitely think it'll have a positive impact. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the servers that people are moving from, the origin servers. If they're going to keep those open, if they're going to force transfers at some point, how that's going to work.
Yeah, I'm actually a little worried that the servers are actually getting it a little too full because I mean, so heavy service servers are fine and everything, but last night during prime time, of course, it was the first day that we transferred, but Kenneth Odo has been undergoing transfers for like a day or so before that. But we had like two public fleet instances, and they were both like 250 people each. So they had like 500 people on the public fleet at one time. So that'll be interesting. I'm a little worried about that.
I mean, if you ask me if they're going to do forced server transfers, they should have just done it now. Why even bother giving anybody the option? That's basically a server merge as it is, it's just a fancy word for it. Okay, we're going to give you free transfers right now, and then like 3 months down the road when no one's paying attention, like, these guys haven't logged on in 3 months, just transfer them, they'll never even know.
I think it's to give people the illusion of a choice. I'm not sure. Maybe they, if you want to come back and stuff like that, because a lot of people are coming back just for the transfer.
Well, yeah, you'd be stupid not to. Who wants to be stuck with a level 50 or 2 level 50s or 8 level 50s on a dead server with 3 people on it that never log on? That sounds like a lot of fun. Not really, but
Exactly.
you get the idea. Why? Yeah, it gives you the illusion of a choice. Do I go to a moderate population server with a bunch of people from my server, or do I stay here and do Gaul? It's not really much of a choice. It's like, do I burn my hand? Do I not burn my hand? Bad
That is big.
analogy.
Especially if anybody has they think they may be coming back to the game, it really would be probably a not very good choice to not transfer when given the option. And I don't know that they're ever going to do forced transfers or anything like that, but if the idea is to close down the servers that just don't have the population, and I don't know if it is, but it'll be curious to see what they do and how they handle it.
Scoop everybody up like the bottom of an ice cream bucket and fling it at the window of traffic.
That's that's an interesting mental image.
Make hand grenades out of lemons. Throw them, burn down life's house. I don't want your damn lemons. Take them back. Wait, wrong. Wrong game. Sorry.
I was going to bring up the free to play model, but you actually found the source for that. Do you want to intro that topic?
You mean the guy from EA talking about the free to play model that they're going to embrace in the future as a definite thing? Is that what you're talking about?
And then Emmanuel Luchinsky talked about the free-to-play model also.
Well,
There were a couple of different articles.
that was Mr. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Mine was off of massively. It's right on the front page. I mean, it probably won't be by the time this comes out,
Right.
6 weeks or so, but still. Mr. Whatever, I can't pronounce his last name, was, yeah, it was a good call. I didn't read it, but
I just think it's going to be a combination of microtransaction and some free-to-play as well as subscription. Usually people like poo-poo or boo-hoo or all over that kind of idea, but with the IP that Star Wars has, I think this is probably one of the few IPs that could probably pull it off successfully or without too many complaints.
you mean like with a massively multiplayer online game, the kind of IP that people can pull off without a lot of complaints?
Well, relatively. Like I don't know, there will always be people who will complain, but I think people will still pay for it, still play for it, and the game will still be viable.
I think the game's viable now. I just don't think that it's viable business. What do I know? I don't have a degree in engineering.
I am not an economist.
I am not
Just
an
in-game.
columnist. I'm not an economist. Yeah, Mr. Auction House. We're gonna start calling you Dirty Vegas. Oh wait, that's probably trademarked. Let's go with ooh. That doesn't set. No, never mind. I just play one on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In game.
Play one in the game, exactly.
I'm not really a jackass. I just play one in real life.
And you're a very good actor, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm pretending like I like this conversation, or at least I'm halfway interested right now. How am I doing? You like me? You really? Give me something else to talk about. Come on. Anything. I don't care.
Well, speaking of the economy, I can talk about what I found out about Kenneth Odo's economy so far. The limited time that I've been spent on it. I did some of the dailies and try to sell some stuff, and I look at the stuff that I normally sell and buy, and there's not much differences, but the in-game stuff, there's some huge differences. Like the black and orange crystals, people are trying to sell them for 2 million credit. At Drill, it went from like 800 to 1 million credit, and so I don't know if that's going to come down. I think it will probably come down if people try to sell more, especially when the GTN merges with the HUD control and all that. And also there's like pages and pages of level 49, level 50 gear and items. And I can imagine how, I mean, it'll probably double when HUD control, when the Empire and Republic factions share the same GTN. Kind of looking forward to that, but I think that'll drive prices down a lot.
Yeah, it's called flooding the market.
Basically,
It's simple supply and demand. You sound exactly like I did a couple years ago in a different game where I could play the auction house more than I would do anything else. Let me tell you a short story, which is never the truth when I say that. I started off with one level 80 doing dailies every day, and then I managed to work my way up to 3 level 80s and started doing dailies every day on all 3 of them. And then after a month and a half, I made enough money to start buying things off the auction house. In 6 months, I never had to do a fucking daily ever again. I bought everything I wanted. I won't do that with this game because the GTN makes me want to have an aneurysm. I can't I don't like this setup. I'm not saying that it's horrible. I'm saying my personal opinion is it sucks.
I'll say it. It's one of the worst interfaces I've seen. I'm not too fond of it myself, but it's got to work with what we have.
You know what's an easier interface for me is instructions for a record player from 1979 in Mandarin, which I have no idea how to read. That would be easier for me to navigate than the GTN.
You're not close enough to the camera.
Makes me glad I do not use the GTN.
I mean, I think we're making it worse, making it out worse than it is. When you use it a lot, it's really annoying. If you just want to do quick transfers or transactions and stuff like that, it's not that bad. But if you want to spend like 10 minutes or more, yeah, it gets on your nerves after a while.
I can't spend that long. I don't even bother. Period. I just hoard stuff.
Oh, and I mentioned doing dailies. Um, it's a lot interesting when you have 42 people in Black Hole trying to fight all over for the same mobs and the same resources when you just come from a server where the Republic fleet had 42 people on it.
That would be a con. Opposite
Uh,
of a pro. Hey, we got a lot more people. We can start doing 4-mans and 8-mans and 16-mans and oh shit, I gotta do dailies. That's mine. Stop.
I tried grouping up with some people for the Heroic 4 on Corellia, and it took us 4 tries to get the final boss down because they weren't well geared. Whereas on Geo, I'm used to people having like Kalumi or Ricardo gear, and we can just take 2 people in our companions and whip right through it. And so that's gonna be an adjustment for me.
Did you just say Kahlua gear?
Kalumi,
Columni?
Kalumi,
Coruscant. Tatooine.
Kalumi.
That one
Fast,
really is Kalumi.
Fasticart. It sounded like Kahlua.
Yeah, it did.
It did. It sounded a lot like Kahlua. Like, oh boy, I know what I'm grinding. I'm farming. I'm gonna start farming. Wait till they come out with a Bailey's gear. Captain Morgan gear. Space pirate. Come on. There's a Star Wars space pirate. Let me finish my thought. Damn it. All right, I'm done.
Thank you. I was just gonna try to cut him off and say, as far as Ilum and Belzovitz go, they seem about the same. There were more people on Ilum, like 20 or so, but we weren't really fighting over the same mobs so far,
It's because Ilum sucks.
basically. Well, Ilum is way better than Belzovitz still. So
Belsavis sucks.
Belzovitz sucks harder.
Actually, I'm having a hard time finding a planet that I actually like now that I'm thinking about it. Like the first couple of quests you're into it, you're like, oh wow, look at that, that's a mountain range. Oh dude, look at that, that's a frozen starship. And then after like 4 or 5 hours of being on the planet, you're like, oh dude, look, it's the end of a barrel.
We had this conversation a few episodes about.
I know, I'm
about our
gonna keep
favorite
bringing it
planets.
up. No, I'm not talking about. Yeah, those sound like my favorite planets. I definitely want to run around in the same environment for over 24 hours straight while I try and level this character that I'm not even sure I'm going to play after I get done. Say that 3 times fast.
No, thank you.
Okay.
It'd
I
be
keep
kind of
clicking on the quest giver and he won't friggin' do it.
You're not clicking hard enough.
Oh, I'll click you harder.
That's what he said. Yeah, it would be ironic if people were complaining about low population and then started complaining that uh, the dailies were too crowded. That's but you know what'll happen because people complain about anything. You can't please all the people all the time. Moving into a timely and somewhat controversial topic, and the guys don't know this is coming, so expect like 2 guys to leap in and murder me. Anyway, in 2 different places this week, Felicia Day and Anita Sarkeesian, the topic was brought up of females in the gaming culture. And there were some really unusual responses. I'm used to having the term gamer girl and things like that be shouted out by women like, well, that's degrading and we should all just be gamers. And not that I disagree with that, but there was kind of an unusual turn this week in that the protests as far as the terms were more from the male side of things. As I understand it, I didn't go through and read all of the scads of comments. I just read the summaries pretty much. And one of the arguments was that female gamers make the gaming environment too casual, that we are polluting the gaming environment. So I thought we would, like I said, spring it on these guys. We would discuss the female gamers, gamer girls, whatever you want to call us, and like, what are y'all's thoughts on that? Is that just nonsense? Are people just trolling? What do you think? Be
I'll
honest.
pass. Mac.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you guys
What?
talking? I heard something about gamer girls and somebody from some TV show, and then I started thinking, I wonder how much I can get that Magnum PI car for. I was gone after that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm kidding. No,
I totally lost your point in that rant. I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I was
honesty
with
is good.
you. I was with you, and then all of a sudden it was like, holy hell, rocket boots. What was the? Give me a short. Come on, short.
Gamer girl, what do you think?
They're human. They play. They pay. Oh wait, you want to know about the social and economical impact of having women in a video game environment or in the gaming industry? Kind of like how they destroyed pickup trucks when they started designing them.
Pickup trucks.
Hmm. Pickup trucks in the '80s were square. They were big. It's a pickup truck. Then you look at them nowadays. It's like, oh look, it's a Prius with big tires. They're all round. They're bubbles. They got big eyeball,
And you blame that on
titty
women.
headlights. I've done the statistical research, which I'm not about to show you. Actually, I don't think girls are making. I don't think that being female has anything to do with games being more casual. I think it's got to do with the oversaturation of um, antidepressants or downers or Ritalin or the ADD gamer culture. Nothing lasts forever. You
Yeah,
can't.
I think the
No, you passed. I'm talking, and I'm gonna make a damn good point here. As soon as I
I
remember what
thought
it
you were done. I
was.
apologize.
Oh, do I look like the president? No, I mean seriously. It's the fact that everything is I want it now, and as soon as the Christmas, you get a bunch of new stuff for Christmas, and after a couple of days, you're playing with a freaking cardboard box. You don't care about anything you had. You had your fun with it. You toss it aside. You get something new. It's the same way. That's why people buy new cars. Do you get sick of what you have? You buy something new. Oh, this computer monitor's not big enough. Go buy a new one. I don't think it has anything to do with women in general. Boo hoo. I mean, I could do with less.
I can't tell. Is you done now?
Yeah, not even
So
close.
no, I don't think women have that kind of an impact on the games and culture and stuff like that. I mean, it's I don't want to that be sexist or anything like that, but some people like different things in their games. Some people like Sim and Sim City and stuff like that, and other people like FPS. I'm not saying that different genders can't like the other game, but as far as making stuff more casual, I think the gaming companies get into the business to make money, and to make money, they want to appeal to a broader base. And if I don't know, their market research lead them to say that in order to make the most money possible, we have to make this kind of game and casual or whatever. Then so be it. I don't know. That's my short answer.
What, like Pikmin?
What?
Like Pikmin?
I'm not familiar with that reference.
Pikmin, the old Nintendo game. Pikmin. That's casual. What was the other one? Animal Crossing. That's casual.
Or a Facebook
Fallout.
game like
Fallout
Farmville.
3. They're not games. They're not games. What that is an extension of social media trying to dig into your pockets by getting you to do microtransactions for shit no one cares about. I swear to God, if I get another Farmville request, I'm going to burn your house down.
Delete email. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. This is a smart move.
Yeah, I blocked that application and pretty much all of those applications.
Yeah, you know how I blocked it? Delete account. Ironically enough, you can find me on Twitter at Mark Arthurian. Yeah, I know, right? Like I'm not.
My personal opinion is that everybody needs to get over themselves, frankly. I mean, male, female, if we're gamers, we're gamers. And I think on both sides, the more we draw distinctions and attack each other and, well, you don't call us this, call us that, all we're doing is widening the division. You know, we have our own subculture as gamers. And, you know, within that, we're kind of sometimes viewed as uncool, you know, sometimes not. But do we really need to fight? Well, I'm a girl gamer. Well, I'm a gamer. Anyway, I think
Well,
it's a silly issue personally, but
It depends on how you view it.
yeah,
Oh,
it does. It does.
I'm a girl. Tee hee. Come to my website. Right. Oh, well, those are nice. Here, take these boots.
Exactly. That's one thing that really irks me, frankly, is female gamers, or sometimes, as I've experienced, male gamers who are pretending to be female gamers, using their gender to get items from, you know, guys in the game.
yeah, just because of that, I assume everyone is a male until proven otherwise.
You do know the acronym for girl on the internet, correct?
Right.
Yes. Okay. Good. I don't need to. Explain. I actually had a friend who did that one time in a different game. He stood in the human capital on top of a fountain with no clothes on. You know, dancing for money. It's so creepy listening to him in the other room, clicking away. Like, this dude just gave me like 300 gold, man. All I had to do, seriously, you have issues that you
After,
need a very expensive psychiatrist to figure out, or possibly just go lay on some track somewhere.
after listening to Shane give her response, I have a feeling that I'm going to be victim of a Rodney King beating, and I'm going to end up saying, "Can't we all just get along?" After what I said, but we'll see.
You
Do
know,
I
it's
look
all
like a
good.
cop to you?
Not by you.
Oh, say, when did that ever happen? With the police stalking Rodney King? We're totally getting off on something I really don't want to discuss.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I was going to say, when you were talking about the whole divide thing and labels and all that, you could apply that to anything.
Absolutely.
You could apply that to absolutely anything, and I'm not even going to get started because I got a full 3 hours worth of things I could say. So give me something shiny to talk about.
Before we wrap up, we will move into Sin's pressing question of the week. We'll take it from a serious topic
Size 14.
that probably could have taken taken a whole show on its own, really, to give it justice. And we'll go into a really very, very serious topic. And that is, what is with it with the devs that have first names that are Texas cities? We had Dallas Dickinson, who vanished, and now we have Austin Peckinpah. So what's Houston's last name going to be? Or
500.
I don't have the attention span for 500 laps, but if you want to send me tickets for the Tampon 200, definitely. Not. Cannonball Run all the way. Never beat a man with a mustache, I'm telling you. The 80s were a great decade. Care what you say. I'm now going to spend the rest of the weekend watching Airwolf.
I loved that show. I really did. The 80s were not really a great decade for the way women looked, you know, with the big hair and the, oh my God, the eye makeup.
Perfect. Yes, perfect. Yes. Oh my goodness. Let's take a stroll down memory lane. Do you remember the workout outfits?
Okay, there was that. There was that.
Oh my goodness.
Are we going to do a clip of Let's Get Physical right here? Insert
Just-
clip.
I used to do the Jane Fonda workout, like in my living room, pretty much dressed just like that with the leg warmers and a little skinny belt on my leotard.
Please tell me Mr. who I can't pronounce his last name has a video of that because we could make some money.
I think there is a video somewhere, but he doesn't have one, no.
I know how to market.
the
Not very well.
the thing that comes to the '80s in my mind is Blair Warner, her big hair from Facts of Life.
Think more
Yeah.
like Bonnie Tyler.
Of that video. Oh,
White Snake. Oh.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Tawny Kitaen. Wow, somebody went from human to cheetah real quick. Like 20 years. I don't even know what she looks like anymore. I don't think I care to find out.
So what was the topic again?
Huh?
it was
Whatever I
complete
feel like talking.
nonsense. Exactly.
Whatever I feel like talking about.
Whatever rant we get off on. Just like the topic always is. What are we gonna do tonight, Brain?
Ryan,
And,
take over the world.
Are you
Just
thinking
like
what
we
I'm
do
thinking?
everything.
And on that note, we will go ahead.
Maniacs.
Snarf.
Snarf. Oh, son of a bitch.
I stole his line.
You did.
You mad?
Prick.
You mad, bro?
Yeah, you have rustled a Jimmy. You know what? I'm just going to tell you right now. Stay out of the long grass, buddy.
I have an all-terrain vehicle. I'm okay.
Is it amphibious?
All-terrain.
All terrain? I'm gonna buy you an eye patch there, Nick Fury.
I think all terrain vehicles should be able to go into space. Unless does that count as terrain? Probably not.
What? Space? As
That
terrain?
would be
Or the
cool.
moon as terrain?
There you go. Yeah.
Are you talking about Tehran? I don't want to get into a political debate.
Yeah. We're going to get into debates about.
I'm not gonna get in a political debate with anybody from Texas. I always, it's like arguing with somebody on the internet. No matter if you, no matter,
Technically, all
no matter if you
on
get
the
it or not,
internet.
it's you know,
Right.
it's like arguing with an infant. Or what was it? What was it I read? Arguing with someone on the internet is like playing chess with a pigeon. No matter how good you are, that pigeon's just gonna knock all the pieces over, shit all over the board, and strut around like it won. That sums up my little brother. And I hope he sees this someday.
Well, it does depend on which part of Texas you're talking politics in. But anyway, on that note, now that we pretty much hit every offensive topic possible, with the possible exception of, anyway, I won't go there.
Total Recall. Total Recall. There you go. There's another classic 80s. Total Recall. Blade Runner.
Definitely. Oh, Blade Runner.
Empire Strikes Back. Return of the Jedi. Never Ending Story.
Stop him, please.
Lost Boys. Anything else? Alien.
And as we credit roll to all the games and videos and movies from the 80s,
Bionic Commando.
we are going to
Metal
wrap it
Gear.
up this week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will
Zombies
see you
Ate My
next
Neighbors.
week on Inside
That's
SWTOR.
what-
Temco Bowl.